let's move on to Detroit, because that's the next team I've got on my list just here. Again, a lot of movement in their team. A lot of movement. DJ Reed's come in. Levi on was. Give me a minute. I actually slammed the first two.
How many times can I use the same joke of it's easy for you to say?
On Ruzarike.
That's the spirit. There you go. You got
Luis Enrique, he's PSG manager.
Luis Enrique. That was so bad for that. It really got me. But re-signed Tim Patrick, re-signed a lot of guys actually, and brought also quite a few players in as well. Rocky Sin had a tremendous tackle the other night after coming over from San Francisco. Not lost many guys. Carlton Davis going to the Patriots, Kevin Zeitler going, who's an older guy, Kindle Vildor, a few other guys. Well, I've seen the draft, unfortunately for Lions fans, well, fortunately yet unfortunately, they are now not drafting that high, so they're now further down the board. So the 28th pick, they took Tyreek Williams, defensive tackle, Tate Ratledge, the guard. At pick 57, he was out of Georgia. Didn't have loads of picks within this draft. Obviously, we've just talked about Ben Johnson going, Adam. They also lost Aaron Glenn, their defensive coordinator. Mm-hmm. They have brought in John Morton, who is their new offensive coordinator, who is quite a tenured coach. When I researched it, former 2017 Jets offensive coordinator. They did go 5-11 that season, though.
Can I say something on that?
Go on.
No.
Offense ranked 24th in points and 28th in yards. So
in that season.
Don't get that confident.
Okay. Kelvin Shepherd is a new defensive coordinator, former player, and he's worked himself up to defensive coordinator as well. This will be his first gig, but respected player around the league. Everyone has already said it's not going to be 15 wins. Like, that season was incredible. And everyone was behind them. And everyone will be behind them again because everyone really does enjoy watching Detroit play. And I think they all enjoyed Dan Campbell. And I think they like the fact that Jared Goff felt like he was discarded by the Rams, wasn't good enough. Yeah. And then he's come there and gone, well, I'll show you. You know, watching the quarterback TV show on Netflix, the second season with Jared Goff, that was really enjoyable to watch. That made me even more like, I like this. And I like these players and I like this quarterback. So is it going to be as much a struggle as everyone else thinks?
I don't think it's going to be that much of a struggle. I just don't think they're going to win 15. I think that you're probably looking at a 13-win team here. To me, that's how I see them. I agree with the John Morton thing and the fact that with the Jets, it wasn't great. And he's just been the Broncos passing coordinator as well, which, you know, a team that's not a particularly strong passing offense. So there is concern there when you think that Dan Campbell isn't really a offensive or defensive play caller, is he? So that is the concern there. The one thing I would say is that they did manage to keep the run game coach. So I think that that's going to be really important for them, given how good their run game actually is. Obviously, as you said, when it came to losses, it wasn't really anyone that you would class as mega significant. So it's not too bad. They re-signed a few of their guys, but again, it wasn't any of their top guys because they didn't need to. They brought in DJ Reed. They brought in Ray Lopez as well, who I think is actually a very good defensive lineman and has been around for a long time. So I think that he'll be decent.
Is that good? You got his name wrong.
Is it not? Oh, it's Roy, isn't it? So close.
Come on.
Generational defensive tackle, yellow jacket type guy. You know, that old...
yeah. It's episode 1, Adam. I already had my mess up in the first part. There you go. It's all good.
There you go. So, yeah, I think they're going to be a very good team. I think it's probably going to be more the same. I just don't think it's going to be quite at the same level. Obviously the goal is to get to the Super Bowl, isn't it? So that's kind of what their goal. Well, that is what their goal is now. Whether they've kind of put themselves in a position where there is nothing else now to reach. And I know that sounds weird because it's the Lions, but it is true. And I think that's what they've got to be aiming for. And yeah, I mean, I think quite a lot is going to be put on the likes of Jahmyr Gibbs, and Amon-Ra St. Brown and Aiden Hutchinson, who I think might struggle a little bit at the beginning, but will by the end of the season will be back to normal. But yeah, it's kind of I wouldn't say it's Super Bowl bust, because I don't think that they're all going to get sacked if they don't get to the Super Bowl. But I think it is kind of like that is what they should be looking for, and I think I think they win the division.
I think we look at some teams around the league that are very similar to the Lions in terms of where they're at the minute. And we talk about like the Super Bowl windows closing. I just think the Super Bowl window for these guys has just got started, to be honest. I think I don't see, like you said, I don't think anyone gets the chop if they don't get to the Super Bowl. But I think the window's sort of just open for them. I think this could be them consistently competitive looking at Super Bowl for the next 3 years at least, and they've just had 2. So what you call that a 5-year window, and then if they play it in the right way, I know, but that was better maths than earlier. I did that so quick.
No, I'm just surprised. I'm just completely opposite, but it's
really.
Yeah.
By the way, before we move on to you, Sky, who did Roy Lopez play for before he went to the Lions?
The Arrows. Is this to me?
I said to Sky. I wanted
Roy Lopez.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about Feliciano Lopez, the left-handed tennis player.
No, I was talking about a generational defensive tackle goal.
I don't know. Probably something like someone like the bloody Texans or something.
Oh, okay.
No.
It was close. It was the Arizona Cardinals.
Did he play for the Texans?
No idea, but I'll find out for you if you like.
All right.
While you tell me why the Detroit Lions will never get near a Super Bowl ever again.
I'm just because we do the recent. Well, I don't know if it's not the same as recency bias, but Fred, you always talk about, and it's because I have it in my head that when the Eagles lost Shane Steichen and Jonathan Gannon, not Rich Gannon, like I said to Patrick Mahomes, the old quarterback from like the 70s, that was embarrassing in person, but no one else knew what was going on anyway, so they didn't realize. But when they lost those 2 guys, the Eagles did drop to 11-6, but the offense was just stuttering. And I know it's a different offense, a different quarterback, but I think that people are not remembering the Jared Goff playoffs, few interceptions. If the Lions don't get off to a hot start, when I say the window's closed, I mean, I'm rooting for Jared Goff. We always talk about, even though I say he looks like Ryan Gosling from Wish, still rooting for the guy. But I think there's always that thing over him, right? Like, is he the guy who's going to get you the championship? And whilst I agree with both of you that there's not going to be a clearing out, there will be quarterback questions depending on what happens with the Lions this season. Like, okay, well done. If they win the division again, that's not good enough. You got to get back to at least the NFC title game, because they probably should have won the NFC title game, the one that they won.
And I know this isn't direct quarterback play, but it does affect the quarterback in a sense. But losing Frank Ragnow, that might be. I mean, I have heard that Graham Glasgow, who's moved over from Glasgow, it's Glasgow. I don't know why I went American.
Yeah.
Moving from guard to center, he's doing really, really well. Really, really well, apparently. So again, that could be an influence.
But remember the Ragnow thing, funny enough, because remember last offseason, I've heard rumors he's going to retire, and you guys were right, because everyone's like, it's too early. But he's gone now, and again, I said it earlier, people don't appreciate the O-line. They don't talk about these things. It's a big deal, especially in an offense like where it's all about Jared Goff and timing, and John Morton was the passing game coordinator when the Saints made the 06 NFC title game. He's from that Sean Payton mold, but both of his successes where he's come have been with a coach like Sean Payton above him. And to Adam's point, Dan Campbell is a motivator who needs people who are experts at his craft around him. And I don't see either of these coordinators as experts in their field. So whilst I'm not ruling the Lions out completely of like a playoff spot, I just think that like they'll be one of those teams that can blow teams out of the water, but also like they're not going to go past, say, the divisional round.
Could we not argue though that the 2 guys who have now left when they first joined were not experts in their field when they joined?
Yeah.
You could say that, I suppose.
But I think it was easier then, Adam, because the Lions' expectations were a lot lower. And now the Lions' expectations are higher. You're
not wrong in that. They did have that grace period, didn't they?
Yeah.
You're not wrong there. I mean, one of the big things for them, obviously, was the injuries. The injuries down the stretch were just, I mean, half of some of the players, they still ain't going to be back for the regular season. Like, they can no way be as injured. I mean, I'm making excuses because there's loads of injuries on every single team, but it did feel like for them it was like 2 guys every week for about 6 weeks. It was ridiculous.
This is what I'm glad we started with the hardest division though, because I mean, like you can, because then we just get all get out of the way, but it's tough, right? There's a lot of talent here, and I mean, Adam's a good fan in that regard, where he's not too dilute, like he's being modest about his Packers, right? But the Lions are not shoo-ins at all. Like, the Packers are good. We've said the Bears have had a good offseason. And he's smiling now. Look, deep down, he knows the Packers are going to win the division. He just don't want to say it. He knows it.
I think it'd be very close amongst the top 3. Personally, that's what
13 wins. I don't even think. No, teams are going to take wins off.
I think they're still a very good team, and I know what you mean about the coordinators, and I'd expect a drop off. And you normally see, like historically with other teams, you see a drop off. So I would expect that to happen. But I would argue going from 15 to 13 or 15 to 12 is the drop off. And I think because it's going to be very, very tight, and you're going to have teams that are going to beat each other in this division, I think you're probably going to find that like getting 12, 13 wins the division.
Yeah, I was thinking 11 or 12. It's just because as well, I know I joked earlier about the strength of schedule, but the NFC North, I think Lions and Bears are tied for second toughest. Like it is hard.